James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
With a pleasant good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Make sure you're sharing this on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday and getting ready to enjoy their weekend. Tomorrow is Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns, and that series is tied at 2. So Game 5 will be 9 p.m. in Phoenix. The winner of Game 5 most likely will win the NBA championship. But on to the video. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a player that is actually one of the most underrated players in NBA history, and to this day, I don't understand how this guy is not in the Hall of Fame. And his name is Lewis Clyde Hudson, aka Sweet Lou. Now, Sweet Lou, as I mentioned, is one of the most underrated wings in NBA history because he played both guard and forward in the NBA. He was 6'5". He was a player that was born in Greensboro, North Carolina. And what's so cool about Sweet Lou is he was born on my birth date. He was born July 11th of 1944. And he went to Dudley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. Ended up going to the University of Minnesota. Was an All-American there in his junior year, where he averaged 24.8 points per game and 10.7 rebounds per game. So double-double. A really nice double-double. Let's see, he got drafted by the St. Louis Hawks in the 1966 NBA draft. He was drafted number 4 overall, so he was a top 5 pick. And in his rookie year, was able to average, I think it was 18.4 points per game in his rookie year. He made the All-NBA rookie team in 1967. And then he had a string of 5 consecutive seasons where he averaged at least 24 points per game. Now, Sweet Lou finished his career as a 6-time All-Star. He played 13 seasons in the NBA, and he amassed 17,940 career points. Now you're asking yourself, why did they call him Sweet Lou? Well, he had a real nice jumper. Sweet Lou, like I mentioned, is one of the most underrated players. And the one thing that I noticed about Sweet Lou was before my time. But in watching highlights of Sweet Lou, he was very good in the pull-up jump shot in transition. Sweet Lou was very good with his, when they didn't really talk about it as a triple threat, but he was actually one of the originators of the quote-unquote triple threat offense back in the day. The one thing that impressed me about Sweet Lou in his highlights, he was very fundamentally sound. Like when it came to fundamentals, especially one-on-one offense, he was very, very fundamentally sound. And we could talk about how players are much more skilled today. But if there's one thing that's lacking in today's NBA, it's fundamentals, which is what Sweet Lou had very down pat when it came to scoring the basketball one-on-one. Just tremendous basketball IQ. And he even, I was watching a video on some of his offensive highlights that he's in with Pistol Pete, a teammate that he played with. He was also on those Atlanta Hawks teams that had, Jerry Chambers, had Joe Caldwell. I think Joe Caldwell, also played in the ABA. But Sweet Lou should be in the Hall of Fame. He has better numbers than some of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame. You have to also remember that All-NBA did not exist at that time. I'm not sure which year All-NBA came into the NBA when they decided to add that as an individual honor, and you have to also understand that era that Sweet Lou played in is, the amount of great players that played in from the late 60s to pretty much the rest of the 70s is, you're reading a list of a who's who. And there's so many underrated players that played even in that era that don't get talked about. You're talking about guys like Nate Thurman, Bob Lanier, Dave Bing. I could just go on and on and on and on, but you guys kind of get my point. So, but going back to Sweet Lou, I mean, he's a 6-time All-Star. You know, he almost scored 18,000 career points. And imagine if he would have played longer, you know, he clearly would have been over 20,000. But he may not have had the playoff success in his career. And I know Sweet Lou was not known as a defender. But at the same time, his numbers actually got better from the regular season going into the playoffs, even though he was not in the playoffs a lot. And you also have to remember that the 70s are known for its parity, because we pretty much had a different NBA champion every single year. There was no back-to-back winners, nobody three-peated. You saw a different champion every single year. And I think the Boston Celtics, I think them and the Knicks were the only two teams to win multiple titles in the 70s. But getting back to Sweet Lou, man, just listening to him, you know, the fact that he played in a system, you could tell that he really understood the game. He really learned, you know, how to be efficient on the offensive end, but it was because he was very fundamentally sound. So I don't understand how is he not in the Hall of Fame to this day. He ended up dying in 2014, I think at the age of 69. He died of, I think it was of a stroke. I mean, so yeah, man, and I was trying to see if I could get some highlights of Sweet Lou, but I don't have enough. There's not enough film that I was able to, or clips that I was able to look up. And again, I don't own these clips, so you know, I wish I could get more tape on Sweet Lou. And you know, watching him, it's amazing to me. I wish players, if there's a tape that they need to watch on becoming a better offensive player, they should definitely check out Sweet Lou Hudson, man. Definitely an underrated player. His jersey's been retired by the University of Minnesota and Atlanta, so I'm glad that they've honored him, and he deserves it, and truly got the respect that he deserves from both of those franchises. From the franchise of the Hawks, excuse me, and then obviously when he played in the University of Minnesota. So underrated player, great offensive player. I don't understand why he's not in the Hall of Fame, because he definitely should be in there. But ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts on Sweet Lou Hudson, a guy who I did not see play, but just listening to some of his interviews and just listening and just learning on how he became such a great offensive player and did it with such efficiency. It's amazing to me how he's not in the Hall of Fame, but definitely, hopefully he gets in next year. But these are just my thoughts and just a little quick synopsis of Lou Hudson. I'm sure guys who have seen him play have got more stories on Lou Hudson, and I would love to hear them, which will definitely have me learn more about Lou. So definitely just leave your comments in the comment section below. Anyway, as always, this is your boy Lewis on another one. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.
Lou Hudson. Here's Hudson from outside. Hawk has 3 fouls, remember, picked up early in the ball game. Lou Hudson's outside and free. And Hudson. Oh, he's out in front. Davis and Lou Hudson. Hudson. Pretty play. Midwestern Division in the NBA. Here's Hazard. Back to Hudson. Basket counts.
Here's a great give-and-go play. Lou Hudson gives the ball to Walt Hazard, hesitates and then goes, and Hazard hits him perfectly. A classic give-and-go play.
Short. Look at that, Silas inside. Taylor again. Hudson.
Another Lou, this one called Hudson, works clear for another jumper, this time from 12 feet. Is just getting warmed up, and there's not much the West can do to stop him. Hudson gets a basket now on a drive. And then jump shot. The spurt by Hudson has tied the game at 75 all with about 2.5 minutes left in the third period. Bench, and he puts in an entire new team. Atlanta's Lou Hudson warms up in a hurry and hits a jumper from about 20 feet.
Taken by Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry way downtown.